Let's see. I tagged you, so it should work.
Cool. We're good.
Hold on. Yeah, it's loading. See, yeah, I think we're on. We're on Facebook. We're here. We're recording on Zoom. Sweet. All right, we're good to go, man.
Awesome. Cool. So, hey, everybody. Isaiah Ellison here again with another installment of Know Your Network, a little something that me and another individual on LinkedIn started up just to kind of reach out and get to know people within our network because, especially now that everybody doesn't get that face-to-face interaction, it's just a good way to kind of network and kind of know what everybody's about within your network. So today I have my friend Bruce Breedlove. We actually have known each other for a little bit now. We actually met playing some co-ed softball about a year ago is when we started up, whenever I first moved to Jacksonville. So we kind of connected there and hit it off and found out, we have a lot of commonalities and similar interests. So that's really how our friendship started, and it's just kind of taken off from there. So just to give you a little bit of background on Bruce, he is into a lot of different things. The man is always on the go. So he's a full-time nurse. He's a brand ambassador for Momentum. It's a real estate brokerage that started about a little over a year ago now, and it's really taken off. So really what Bruce is passionate about is teaching and educating people about personal finances. I'll let Bruce go into really what took him down that path, but he has a really great story that has led him to where he's at now. So go ahead, Bruce, if you don't mind sharing yourself a little bit.
Yeah, let me fill out the details here. So I'm Bruce Breedlove, as Isaiah said. I've kind of stumbled my way into a lot of different things here over the last couple of years, but I've been a registered nurse for 10 years, currently at Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville on the surgical ICU, which is far and away different than everything else I do. So that's one language I speak. I love being a nurse. I originally, I'll get into this more, but grew up super poor, didn't really know what to do. I just wanted a job that would give me security and safety. So I went to nursing school back in University of Akron in Akron, Ohio. I got a full ride scholarship. Didn't pay a dime for school just because I worked my butt off in high school. Finished third in my class in Talmadge, Ohio. Paid my way through nursing school with scholarships, and actually had so many that literally I pocketed some of the money. Like there was too much scholarship to go around. It's just I was just determined to just be successful. And I used whatever skills I could to be the successful, right? So I got a full ride scholarship to Akron, got in and out of there in 4 years, worked in Ohio for 4 or 5, moved to Jacksonville in 2015. Not necessarily on a whim. I've always wanted to leave the snow and the cold, and really, if you're thinking about it, just do it. But moved down here, became a nurse, a couple different places down here. So currently in the surgical ICU at Jacksonville. So that's one thing. Something that I always ate away at me, being a nurse, is that, only working 3 days a week, I had all this time to just do whatever. And like, I always had this just like fire in my stomach, fire in my belly, chest to like, just do more. And so, we'll get into this a little bit later, but again, I stumbled into learning to teach people about personal finance is my true passion. So like I started trying to make a social presence, with something called iFire Finance to teach people about money, making money, keeping it, retiring the traditional way. I was very risk averse. I was very traditional. My personal finance knowledge was basically all from Dave Ramsey, who I still, kind of go along with that, but I'm far more risky now. So stumbled on that, started making a social presence. I had met a guy named John Brooks down here in Jacksonville, Florida. He sold me my first house back in 2017. And long story short, he came to me and said, hey, we're starting a real estate brokerage here in Jacksonville with the wealth of knowledge and experience they have in the real estate industry. And he said, we need you. How about you stop doing the personal finance stuff and start doing it for Momentum, which something that came to be named Momentum, right? It was the brokerage with no name when we started, but Momentum Realty, yeah, we started a year ago. As of January 17th, we have over 100 agents all over Florida. Get to the pleasure of marketing the brokerage and also being the head recruiter and having those qualifying conversations with real estate agents up front. and getting them in and getting them connected to what we have as a value proposition and solving their problems, and just watching them grow. It's amazing. We do real estate brokerage very differently than the traditional way. Really connecting with people, helping them focus on their strengths and getting them, like I said, connected with what can solve their problems and just watching them grow. The other thing so that's nurse, brand ambassador. And the third thing that, again, I've kind of stumbled onto, but I'm really focusing on now is brand ambassador consulting. So it's a cool, unique thing where, I've created this position within Momentum of marketing director plus recruiter kind of mushed together. And what I found is that other companies need that sort of person who's focused on growth, right? Normally a marketing person, you can only hope to make 30, 40, maybe $50,000 a year. But the unique part of a brand ambassador is that, they're someone who's installed in the organization, who is part of the leadership team and who's doing the marketing or directly supervising someone doing the marketing, and then responsible for bringing new clients, whoever they are. So it's a revenue driver, it's a growth machine, not just a cost center. So that right there, that little nugget, and teaching those activities and the scripting and everything around that, that's what I do. And so other companies are hiring me to do that for them, which is so cool. Like, I got to go up to Grand Rapids, Michigan and work with a brokerage called Bella Bay Realty. I hired a superstar up there named Ashley Finstrom. I was just on the phone with her a little bit ago. She's learning the ropes, and she's going to absolutely kill it. Working with Home Pro Inspections here in Jacksonville, Florida. Wally Conway, shout out to you, man. And just hired a brand ambassador. Can't really say who it is yet because she hasn't made the official announcement, but hired her. We are going up to Indianapolis to meet the CEO of Residential Warranty Services, which we're going to network with him and see how we can add value there. It's just incredible. Long story short, like, along the way, I've just kind of gained skills and then figured out how I could maximize. Gain more skills, maximize, gain more skills, maximize. So it's like and I have no idea what's next. If you would have told me what's going on right now in my life a year and a half ago, I would have said maybe, but probably not. Like I had no idea how I was going to get from being a nurse to brand ambassador with Momentum, helping start that amazing company. And then where I am now, who knows? Like the future is just, I'm not even going to try to figure out what it is, because it's just, the trajectory has been awesome. So I think that's it.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And just to kind of fill everybody in, anytime me and Bruce get together and start having a conversation, I think that it's fair to say that we both kind of get really amped up and excited just talking about possibilities and kind of what that looks like. And there's a potential that me and Bruce might be collaborating on some things in the future, so that's exciting in itself. But yeah, that's awesome. So Bruce, I mean, if you were to reach out to anybody in my network or wanted to say, hey, connect with me, what are the type of people that they're looking to connect with?
Right now I'm focused on finding small business owners who are interested in installing someone inside the organization who's focused on growth. What I found is that, the skill set of an entrepreneur is different than someone who's focused on, building a business and is focused on the day-to-day operations and putting out fires, is not necessarily focused on the best way to, number one, market themselves. Almost like, a brand awareness PR standpoint to then bringing in clients based on your value proposition. I am so excited, and it's so cool to like look at a company and say, like, what is your value proposition? And most people think they know what it is, but they don't really. So nailing down like what you offer, and then from what you offer, what problems those solve for your target customer, and blasting that out there. That's all you have to do. Because any sales, and I just learned this from I felt like I knew this, but like this guy, Ryan Snow, that I met and just interviewed a couple weeks ago, put it so beautifully. It's like the only thing to sales is finding what problems you solve, finding the people who have that problem and solving their problem. That's it. That goes with any product you sell, that goes with any service, that goes with anything. So once you simplify your business down to that and then go get those people, that's what I do, right? I help you find those people so you can go fix their problems based on your value proposition. And that's it. If you don't do anything else, because everything else just doesn't matter, right? And then you tailor your activities to figure out how you get to do that. Anything outside of that, like I said, don't focus on it. Don't spend money on it. Don't spend time on it. Don't hire people to it. That's it. And I'm not intentionally oversimplifying. It's just that, sales, no matter what it is, it boils down to that. And it like, that was so amazing to me that he just simplified it like that. And it was like the light bulb went off. So there's anyone inside your organization who, or your network, who's looking to have a conversation about how do I drive growth? We create a job, we drive growth, and we really get the brand moving forward in the right direction and the customers coming in who you can fix their problems.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I appreciate that. So yeah, anybody in my network that you're looking for a highly motivated person, I definitely suggest you connecting with Bruce. Even if you aren't looking for anything like that, I think the connection with Bruce is worth the click. So definitely.
Yeah, what I've honestly found out with the real estate brokerage is I have another passion for connecting people too. And it goes to the same thing of finding what problem someone has and then helping them solve it. I don't have the answers for everything. I have the answers for very little, but it just so happens that I have access to a network of people who may have that solution to your problem. So I meet with agents inside the brokerage several times during the week, and I just go over marketing stuff with them. But something inevitably comes up where they have a problem or opportunity that they don't know how to solve. And then my job inside the brokerage that has now I've kind of stumbled into again is connecting agents with other agents inside the brokerage who can solve their problem, or outside trying to pull people in and solve that problem for them. And it's just a sort of a connector, almost like a switchboard operator, and getting people connected and cutting down the learning curve or cutting down the time to education on whatever the subject is. It's just so cool. Then, you see those people connecting, taking a photo together, posting it up, and like someone has gotten some new information or made a connection and solved their problem. It's awesome. So I love that. That gives me so much energy.
Rightfully so, man. That's awesome. And I mean, I guess that's kind of what this whole Know Your Network challenge is all about, connecting people. Yeah, I have, like I said, a wide variety of a network, and just being able to connect you, or I spoke with Allie Allen a couple weeks ago, and she's in the pest control industry and looking for, but connecting people like that, that you might not normally realize, hey, this person is into this, or this person might add some value in this area of my organization or my life, is kind of what this is all about. So I'm really glad that you're able to be a part of this.
Yeah, I love that. And so just to take her for example, like her end user is clients who own homes, but she could build a referral partnership with real estate agents in her area, and someone like me could get her in contact with those people. And, as a real estate agent, you're a trusted individual on the behalf of whoever's buying or selling their home, right? You can easily make relationships with real estate agents and just turbocharge your network. If you're focused on your end user being a real estate agent and giving them all the value and making those relationships, they will refer you out. Because inevitably, especially in Florida, and everyone needs pest control.
Yeah.
So my challenge to her is, like, what's your value proposition and how do you get it to real estate agents so that anytime one of their clients says, I have a cockroach in my house, boom, they have your information. That's her route to success right there. And figuring out how she can get that information to those people who need it, and then her business would explode.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. So yeah, anybody in that industry, he just laid it out there for you. So Bruce is a great person to connect with in that aspect, especially in the Florida market. So cool.
Yeah, anyone whose end user is a real estate agent, we need to talk.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome, dude.
Cool. Yeah, so I kind of touched on this a little bit ago, just talking about like my trajectory through life, like, and we talked a little bit offline just before the live about this. Something I really wanted to come out, other than, what we've already talked about, something I really wanted to come out of this is, there are a lot of people who I come across just on a daily basis who have been through stuff, right? We've all been through stuff, but who then those people take that stuff and then use it as an excuse to kind of continue to fail, right? Or use it as an excuse to not go forward, or point at something and say, like, I can't be successful because of this. The reason why I'm so interested in personal finance is because I grew up flat broke. Like, my parents, sorry, Mom, if you're watching this, my relationship with my mom, she's doing great. She's doing great now. But when I was a kid, right, we had challenges. Grew up super poor, wore grass stained jeans to school, was always the kid that, like, didn't have, I grew up in a pretty affluent area in Akron, Ohio. Greene is a suburb. And, I always knew, like, I didn't have what everyone else had. And as a kid, you're focused on material stuff. Like I didn't have that video game. I didn't have, we couldn't go to this place. We always lived in like small, crappy apartments. Like it just, I always grew up knowing a lack of things, right? So when I came of age, old enough to realize like I want my life to go in a different direction, I simply learned from my past and then figured out what I needed to do in the future to not be that way, right? Essentially, I did everything opposite the way I was raised. So, people have role models. I had negative role models, right? I just did the opposite. So I guess what my message is, my path to personal finance was just growing up broke and realizing like, I don't want to be broke anymore. So I did everything I could to learn how to not be broke. And I surrounded myself with people who knew how to not be broke, make money, invest it. And there's no scam here. It's just like learning how money works and learning, how to take it, invest it, and make more. So, anyone who wants to connect about personal finance, putting a budget together, learning about how the market works, anything. I love that's my true passion. And the reason I bring it up is just because, where your circumstances now do not define you. It's the choices you make going forward that define you, really. So don't be ashamed of where you've been. Don't be ashamed that you did that thing, but learn from it and change your future based on it. That's winning.
Yeah, that's awesome, and I think that's probably why we hit it off initially because full disclosure, I didn't have an affluent childhood either. I had a lot of obstacles and things like that, and yeah, to get to where I am now, not just in my career but educational and things like that. There was a lot of obstacles, and I had every opportunity to kind of just pack it in and say, no, I can't do it because of this and that. But for whatever reason, I've been able to push through those and continue my growth and development. And that's something as I've continued to progress, I'm more and more hungry for, and just always looking for opportunities to better myself because of where I came from. So just again, I think that's why we've kind of connected so well and been able to really grow our friendship, and it's I think the sky's the limit at this point.
Yeah, I totally agree. And just, when my partner and life mentor, really, John, always says this. He's like, once your mind opens, it doesn't go back. And so you came from this small town mentality, and you said not an affluent upbringing. Like once you get out of that, and there are so many people that are mired in that, they're just stuck in that. Even if they change locations, it's like they can't get over that hump of, okay, that is what happened before. Let's learn from it and let's apply that lesson to the future, because that's the valuable part. Like once your mind expands, once you learn new things, it doesn't retract back. So it's almost like all you have to do is say go and start learning. I mean, there's no other barrier to it. But there's emotion, there's other imperceivables that hold you back. Just do it. And once you do, like, you're going to connect naturally with people like you who we met on a co-ed stinking softball team. Like, how often do you get to, and I've said this before, like, how often do you get to pay $60 and play on a Jack's Frey co-ed softball team and meet someone who could change the trajectory of your life? And I'm talking about both of us, symbiotically here.
Yeah.
Like that's all it takes. But you have to be open to it. That's the thing. And being open to it is figuring out where you came from, where you are now, where you want to go. And then you put your arms around those people that can help you. Literally.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
absolutely.
we've hugged multiple times.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the things that you said earlier that really hits home is surrounding yourself with people that are not necessarily like-minded, but are headed in the same direction that you're wanting to go in, are already in a position that you want to be in, and just your mindset's going to change over time based off of the people that you're surrounding yourself with, your tribe, essentially. It's so easy, especially growing up in a small town. It's easy to get comfortable and not want to push yourself. And we've had this conversation before offline, but that motivation to do more isn't necessarily going to be there if the people around you aren't trying to do more or aren't pushing you to do more. So changing your mindset and actually doing, as opposed to saying, well, I wish I could do this or I want to do this. Like, just, you have to do it. Like, the only way that you're going to get to that point is to take that first step, or surround yourself with the people that are going to push you to take that first step. So that's
Yep.
yeah, I mean, that's it in a nutshell. I mean, it's easier said than done. It took me a long time to move away from my small area and get out there in the world and really understand that there's there's so many opportunities that, I can take advantage of if I'm willing to take that step. So, um, again, this is why we work so well together, just because I think we have similar mindset as far as we want more, constantly wanting more. So,
Mhm. Yeah, and I honestly, I used to have people around me who discouraged me from that. And I was, oh, like I said, I had that like pain in my chest, like I can do more, I can do more. And until I started actually doing it, it was there. And then it went away. And then I found that true fire and I keep discovering these things that I love to do. I just give me energy. But like, it's so profound when like I exited that environment that I was in, about those people that would discourage me and say, aren't you just happy the way you are? Why aren't you content? And I guess it's just not the way I'm built. Maybe it's because I've had to survive. Maybe it's because I've had to progress to get where I am and I have that hunger to do more. I don't know what it is. But I mean, my message around this is, the people who you surround yourself with, and it's almost cliche in my life at this point because I'm constantly saying it, but like, you are the product of who you surround yourself with. So if you are around people who are doing the same old thing, chances are you're going to do the same old thing.
you know,
If you hang around, people who are broke and have a broke or a scarcity mindset, you're going to be broke and have a scarcity mindset. So you get around people who are doing bigger things, and you will do big things. I mean, you have to do it, but it's amazing what the effect your environment has on you. It's amazing.
absolutely, absolutely. And so, not to get too far away from the know your network challenge, because it's when we have these conversations, it's easy for us to go off, and we could probably talk about this all
Mhm.
day. But if I could give a quick shout out to people in Bruce's network, just to give a little bit of history, a little bit of background. What I currently am the retention and recruiting manager for McCall Service, which is a pest control company, in that we service in Florida. We got a couple of branches in Georgia as well, and then we're rapidly expanding our operations. But a little bit of prior history, before coming to McCall. I was in the military. I was a helicopter mechanic, which pulled me out of my small town and kind of thrust me into the world. But as I transitioned within the military, I was able to finish my undergrad in psychology. Got out of the military, not really expecting to get out when I did, but then I got into operations management role, for a company in Georgia. And I always had a bug for psychology, but once I got into the operations side, I was like, I think I need to go the business route. So I pursued my MBA, got my MBA, and then I was like, I still have that hunger and the need to be involved in psychology, understanding why people do the things they do, what motivates people to do the things they do. And so I decided to combine the two, and now I'm currently working on my PhD in industrial organizational psychology. Uh, Easy way to look at it is business psychology. So once I finish my degree, I'll be a business psychologist. But my primary focus is understanding and kind of benefiting companies to develop and change their company culture, looking at the employee retention, limiting turnover, that type of thing. The more employee centric focus is what my end goal is going to be. So anybody in Bruce's network that's interested in knowing anything about that, or if you just want to talk business psychology, I'm probably somebody that would love to connect with you and discuss further, and then see where that leads. But yeah, so that's a quick shout out for Bruce's network. But now we can open up that conversation again.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's a perfect segue to, I mean, kind of teasing what we're both working on together. We know what I mentioned before. This is no news to you. Is doing the brand ambassador consulting. I've found that small business owners generally, ideally, our ideal customer would be under 300 employees, just because I have experience with less than 300 employees. So I don't know that my validity would extend beyond that, but the brand ambassador piece plus the OP, the organizational psychology piece, mushed together, and Isaiah and I offering a product that has a larger scope than what I can currently offer, right? We can come in and almost have like a menu of services where, what problems are you having? Again, back to the conversation I had earlier. I'm speaking to a company. What problems are you having, and can we fix that with our skill set? Is your revenue growth down? Are you having revenue growth? Are you having retention issues? because a lot of things that I can help with go hand in hand with retention. Is that's what I do at Momentum. I'm not only recruiting, but I'm retaining as well.
Yeah.
Putting agents on a touch program so that they know that we care, because we do. It's legitimate. It's just putting a system around doing that, planning events, hosting them. It's there's so much to this. But whatever it looks like for that company, and then you coming in and being able to analyze the entire organization and picking out issues, and being able, and we could come in with a product and based on what you want, we could save you this much over the next 5 years. And that's our value proposition right there. And then, we charge based on that. So it's lots more to come on that. We are in the infancy stage, because to say I stumbled on this sounds a little bit juvenile, because I definitely didn't stumble on it, but it was one of those things that I learned, and then I figured out more people could use based on what I've learned, right? So it's in its infancy. I don't know exactly what it looks like. We don't know what it looks like yet, but much more to come from us. And so we're far more than softball buddies. I think we're back to back. Oh no, there's someone in between us normally. I'm number 2, you're number 4.
Yeah.
So we're in the same threesome if you read off the lineup. But much more than softball buddies at this point. So what do you have to add to that, Isaiah?
Yeah, no, like we're still, in the early discussions as far as what it looks like, and, the direction that ultimately we want to go. I have, tons of big ideas and things that I could see this budding into. And, I've thrown that at Bruce previously, but at the same time, we both have separate careers that we're working on, and just trying to figure out how that meshes and what that looks like over the course of the next few months to the next year, that sort of thing. So it's very early on, but I think that what we can put together is going to be some really good stuff, and I think a lot of people are going to benefit from it. And ultimately, that's the idea. Like, we want to help small businesses, or not just small business, eventually, any business or any individual that could benefit from kind of our skill sets and what we can bring to the table, is the ultimate goal. Obviously, if we can make some financial gains with that, is the reason why we all do what we do. But at the end of the day, if I can make somebody's life a little bit better, that makes me feel better, because growing up, Bruce probably can relate to this. There wasn't a ton of help in the areas that of my life that I probably could have benefited from. And I think that lack of help or assistance or growth or guidance has kind of maybe put something in my mind to where I want to help as many people as possible. So that's really the ultimate goal as to why we're trending in this direction.
Yeah, my love language is acts of service, and that goes right along with it. Solving issues for people. I'm a natural problem solver, just because, like you said, I've been there where I've had an issue and didn't have someone to help me with it, so I had to figure it out. So coming in and being able to solve someone's problem is like a natural tendency of mine. So again, we're just like you said, we're just taking kind of our skill sets and everything just mushed together in a pile and saying, like, here you go, like maybe this will help, with a better system and some structure. But like, that's amazing about, I find that about you, is that we share this, is that everything is just a culmination of what we've done before, and then the next thing that we do will be a culmination of this, what we're doing now. It's just one more step into whatever the heck is next.
Yeah.
But it's my pleasure to get to know you, and we have lots more to go with us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm excited about it. So this all spurred from the Know Your Network challenge. So if you're interested in doing something similar to this, obviously it's just reaching out to somebody, starting a little conversation, and putting it out there for everybody. Share the people in your network. Use the hashtag Know Your Network so you can kind of make that grow a little bit. But just having a conversation and get to know people a little bit better is what it's all about. So.
Yeah, and anyone in my network too who wants to do similar style setup, I would love to get something on the calendar with you.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, I guess that wraps it up for this edition. Obviously, me and Bruce, we could talk forever, and this one's a little bit longer than what I've done in the past. But it's hard not to kind of go on these tangents, because again, we just get so motivated and pumped up every time we're talking to each other. So I apologize if you think it's too long, but Sucks to suck, I guess. I don't know.
Hey, the stop button has always been available. It's like somewhere right here on your screen.
Don't use it.
All right, man. Don't use it. Yeah, play. All right. I'll talk to you, man. Thank you for having me
All
on.
right, later, man.